Fill in the blank listening. You will see a sentence with one or more blank spots. I will say the sentence and you have to guess the words that go in the blank spots. Who's that man over there? Who's that man over there? Who's that man over there? And the answer is, who's that man over there? Notice that I said, who's that? In fast speech, the Z sound, like in whose, can cover the voiced TH sound. Who's that? Of course, at the end of that, we have a glottal stop T, that. Who's that? With man and over, we actually have the N connecting to over, so it sounds like man-over. Who's that man over there? Who's that man over there? Fill in the blank listening. Ready? I think he's right. I think he's right. I think he's right. The answer here is, I think he's right. Grammatically, we do have the word that, but we don't usually need to say this word when we connect to ideas like this. For the pronunciation, I think, it flows very nicely. Think and he's, that H is disappearing. So the K will move over to the E, thinkies. And then when we move from the Z in he's to the R in right, he's right. I think he's right. Of course, we also have that glottal stop at the end of the word right. Fill in the blank listening. But where'd she go? But where'd she go? But where'd she go? The answer here is, but where'd she go? Where'd in this case is a spoken contraction that we don't usually write of where did. Now the word but by default has a stop T at the end, but. However, in the way that I said it in the sentence, I actually completely dropped the T. That is a possible variation that can happen in fast speech. But where? Then of course we have where'd, and we're going to go straight from the to the D, which is supposed to be a stop D. Where'd. But then we have that SH in she. You have to kind of push the SH out through the D without really saying a D. So it's going to make it sound a little bit different than just an SH. Where'd she? And then we have go. But where'd she go? Fill in the blank listening. He's always on his phone. He's always on his phone. He's always on his phone. The answer here is, he's always on his phone. First we have the word he's, which is the contraction of he is. Next we have the word always, and that first syllable all is an L-colored fifth vowel. All. People also say this, always. The Z in he's will connect, he's always, or he's always. With on, we have the fifth vowel sound, ah, and the Z from always connects, always on. Next we have his, but most likely the N is going to erase the H and connect on is. And lastly, we have the word phone. He's always on his phone. Fill in the blank listening. Ready? You'd think he'd know. You'd think he'd know. You'd think he'd know. The answer here is, you'd think he'd know. The contractions here are you would and he would. These are very common contractions, and no, they are not informal. They're perfectly normal contractions. In the word you, we're starting with the y consonant, going to the oo vowel, and then ending in a stop D. You'd. From there, we're going to go into the th. There is a secret trick to do this, which is actually to do more of a dental D sound. You'd think. In think, the way that I speak, I do not say E, the second vowel, I say E, the first vowel. Then we have the back N plus a K. E, k, think. But you could use the second vowel if you want. Think. Then the K from think is actually going to move over to he. It's going to erase the H. Thinkied. And then the word no starts with the letter K, but that's silent. So we're going back into a stop D on heed. And the D position is the same as the N position. Continue with the N into O. He'd know. He'd know. You'd think he'd know.